Hey guys, what's happening? It's your man JP with J.P.s World of Wrestling. Thank you once again for tuning in and watching. We're going to try this again. I just tried to do this video. Got a phone call from my wife, so I had to take it. So I just decided to scrap the whole thing. Let's just start over. Okay, so here's what happened with the action figure matches. This morning, I got all set up. I was getting ready to do them. And then I realized, I don't know where my champions are, and I don't know where Mean Gene or Jimmy Hart are. They're in a separate box or somewhere. We just moved, so everything's still kind of like what's in what box and what. So, and I still could have done some matches, but they would have been sort of inconsequential, and they wouldn't really meant anything to the storylines that are currently going on. So, but I'm going to keep looking for them. As soon as I can find them, I'll do the matches. Anyway, so today, and sorry about that. So today we're talking about the King of the Ring 1994. We already talked about King of the Ring 93 and how it was kind of a launching pad for Bret Hart. And, and they made him King of the Ring. He started the feud with Jerry Lawler. It was also the last ever WWF match for Hulk Hogan for like a really long time, because he would go do WCW, do the NWO thing, and then he would eventually come back. But yeah, it was pretty good. And 1994, it was still pretty good. It was kind of transitional because the WWF was kind of starting to go towards the heavy gimmicks and the occupational gimmicks and everything. But 94 was actually not bad in that regard. So, you had classic wrestlers like Bam Bam Bigelow and Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett. Then you had IRS and Mabel and, the 1-2-3 Kid. And so, the tournament matches were Brett, Razor, IRS, Mabel, Tatanka, Owen Hart, Jeff Jarrett, and the 1-2-3 Kid. So, and those matches were pretty good, but ultimately, it would come down to Owen Hart versus Razor Ramon, and then Owen Hart would win that one. Owen Hart would win. They make him the King of the Ring with Jim the Anvil Neidhart by his side, and they launched Owen Hart to the moon. You could say they strapped a rocket to his back. Anyway. So, and then we had a WWF title match. Bret Hart versus the Intercontinental Champion at the time, Big Daddy Cool Diesel, who had Shawn Michaels in his corner. That match was a long match because it was a Bret Hart match. And then, the main event, the last match of the night, was Rowdy Roddy Piper and Jerry Lawler. Apparently Jerry Lawler had been talking smack about Roddy Piper. Talking smack about how Roddy Piper went to a children's hospital, visited some sick kids, and Lawler kind of made a crack about that, so obviously Piper didn't like that. So it culminated to this match at the King of the Ring, and I think this is kind of where they like to put Jerry Lawler in his profile matches, because it's the King of the Ring, and he's the King Jerry Lawler. So, yeah, so anyway, Roddy Piper won the match, and that was that. That was the 1994 King of the Ring. And what's different about the 93-94 King of the Ring as opposed to moving forward is 93-94, they would have the entire tournament on one pay-per-view in one night. Where I think moving forward, they would have the qualifying matches and the first round matches on just weekly shows. Then the semifinals and the finals they would have at the pay-per-view, and then they have a bunch of other matches. So, and that's the way they did it. But the one thing I did not like about the 1994 King of the Ring, and I've talked about this on the last video, is Art Donovan on commentary. He was absolutely awful. I don't know why Vince McMahon put him on commentary. I think it's just because Vince kind of got a kick out of him, but I just thought he was irritating. Just so irritating. He was so stupid. He didn't know anything about the product. He didn't know anything about the wrestlers, the moves. He would just make these stupid little comments that didn't mean anything, that were just, hey, what's the deal with that guy? He's just, oh, you know, what's his, and IRS gets in the ring. He's like, is that one of the wrestlers? Man, he looks like a businessman. Yes, that's the point, Art Donovan. I just wish that if they brought in celebrity commentators, that the celebrity commentators would at least take the time to learn about the product and to learn about what they're going to be doing. It's just, I don't know, kind of grinds my gears, as Peter Griffin would say. But anyway, 94, King of the Ring was okay. I liked that Owen Hart won it. I liked that they propelled Owen Hart to new heights, and he would go on to be an Intercontinental Champion, a Tag Team Champion, and a European Champion. He never got to be WWF Champion. I think that probably eventually would have happened had he not tragically passed away in 1999, but I think, by far, when he died, it was by far the best thing going on in WWF. So, and, Mabel, he was on this, and he would go on to win the next King of the Ring, but I don't know, Mabel, I was never really into Mabel. Oh, I forgot that there was a tag team match on this pay-per-view. It was the Head Shrinkers versus Crush and Yokozuna. I've often said I never really cared for Crush. That doesn't mean I won't use his figure with my figure federation, but I never really got into Crush. I thought I didn't like him when he was Demolition. I thought he was kind of a third wheel, and they just needed to get rid of him. And when he became a singles wrestler, I just didn't really like his wrestling style. I mean, just the way he would throw punches and the way he would do delayed leg drops. I didn't like it, and just the way he would throw these cheesy uppercuts. I don't know. I didn't dig it. I didn't like Crush, and during his feud with Doink the Clown, even though Doink the Clown was the heel, I was cheering for Doink because Doink was by far a better wrestler. So, anyway, yeah. And then Yokozuna, I like Yoko. Who doesn't love Yokozuna? But, yeah. That match was just, bleh. I guess that's why I forgot about it, because it was just really, it was really a forgettable match. So anyway, that was the 1993, or not, 1994 King of the Ring. By far, I give it a thumbs up. Thumbs down to Art Donovan as commentator, but the event itself was pretty good. I liked it, and that's going to do it. So if you're new, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.